All right, it's almost 2:03. I think we should start now. Thank you for joining, everyone. Um, if um, if you don't know me, my name is Jahangir, and I'm the Business Development Officer at MiPropertyPortal. We do this webinar we try to do it every month. Last 2.5 months, you couldn't do it because it's summer, and so we are doing it for after almost 2.5 months. But in the meantime, we had lots of new improvements came in, new features came in. Fundamentally, we have introduced like few things that I'm going to share today. Excuse me, I'm not feeling much well today, so you might hear my nosy sound. But yeah, so let's start. As usual, so what we do is our agenda is like we talk about our features, new features and improvements, and we also give you a kind of a guideline, or not guideline, we give you a hint like what we are working on, and then questions, open floors for question and answers. Feature improvements. So we are moving towards the API management. So we have implemented our infrastructure for APIs, and that's a big move now. And we also published a few APIs at this moment, and that I'm going to show you now. So the APIs that we have implemented, so that's for rental listings, properties, tenants, and service requests. And this list is going to grow. And every month there will be new API we'll be introducing in that documentation. So if you are not familiar with the API, there is basically like you can, using the API link, you can get your data in like any other application. So for example, you want to create a report in Excel, right? Or you want to integrate your rental listings information in your website, right? The previously what we had was we gave you a URL. You can just iframe it within your website. So, and it's kind of like static thing. Yeah, even though it looks like it's within your website, but you are iframing it. Now, using the rental listing API, you can grab the data and give it to your developer, and then make the rental listing site on your website the way you like. So that's one example, which is a rental listing. Similarly, property data, tenant data, you can grab and do things. And the service request is so you can grab the service request data. You also published an URL so that you can do the programming on your website so that the service request can be submitted from your website. So one of the classic example would be, so let's say you have you want to give your tenants an easy service request submission option, right? So you can do the programming using the API, right? You can show them the property, and when they select the property, maybe their tenant name will be automatically there. And then if you give them an interface to submit the service request, like what their issue is, upload a picture option and submit. And when you do that, it will be a service request will be created in my property portal, right? So that's the power of API. Okay, so now let me switch to the portal and show you where you can find it. Okay, so the configuration has to happen in the business profile setting. And there's a new tab for API keys. And here's the API keys. So each and every client have their unique API keys, right? And we provide one. If you want to check it, you can see that, and it will disappear after a few seconds. If you need to copy it, you copy it, and if you need to regenerate, you can regenerate it. Okay. Now we also want the API to be secure, right? So not we don't want somebody else to grab your data, right? So to make sure that you are calling your data, we also implemented um, the authorized IP address, right? So you can add if the developer is working, so he or she must be working from a computer or from a server. So there must be an like internet IP address. So if you do not provide the IP address, you cannot call the API, right? So and then I'll say so, and if you try to call the API, and now what are the APIs? So let's go to the API documentation. See, so these are the URLs, API URLs, right? And you have to provide your key here and client secret in this section, and then you'll be able to call the API. And when you call the API, it's supposed to give you a data in kind of a JSON format, we call it, and that can be parsed, and that can be, and then you can use it the way you like, right? Now, if you try to use this URL, somebody tries to use this URL, and they don't provide an authorized IP in our portal, then it will say that, okay, this IP address is not authorized, right? So then you can come back, or the developer can give you that IP address, and you can add it into this in this window. So that makes it secure, is because now you know that somebody's working on this, and you know the person who is gonna pull the data. Okay, so you can have seven, I think, seven IP addresses here. The other thing is the API call can the max API consecutive API call can happen 10 times in a minute, right? So this is to avoid any kind of phishing, calls. So there are programs that can continuously run the APIs, and then that crashes the server, or also creates problem for you if you are doing a developer, right? So in this case, we limited to 10, so that in a minute, your program can call max 10 times the URL. Okay, it's a little bit of technical discussion, but if you have a developer, they will understand what we are talking about. So we have the infrastructure for APIs, right? And the API documentations are here, as I mentioned. Listings. This is for rental listings. So let me show you this. All right, so let me go here. So this is the URL for Acme Property Management, right? So if you hit enter, then you get your vacant listings. You guys all know this. Now, this data, the way it is now, you can like insert this link within an iframe on your website, and then this shows up on your website. So technically, it's still pointing to our website. It's just showing within your website, right? Now, what you can do with the API listing. So, for example, you call the listings, then you do the programming, and you can have the page the way you like. The color change, the button change, all the color and everything. You can basically go crazy the way you can present it, the data, the way you like. Okay, so you have the property, tenants, and service requests. Okay, so what I would request is that if you need more APIs, I know a few of you requested before, so let us know like what are the APIs you might need on the work order side or the um, I don't know, maybe invoice bills. So let us know and we'll provide you the API links as soon as possible. Yep. So these are all the stuff that we have talked about. Now, another major improvements that we have done in the email templates section. Um, when we deployed it, actually, that caused a little bit of problem with the existing templates that you have. So our technical team supposed to send an email yesterday. Um, so basically, you need to go back to your existing email templates and kind of update it, right? It's probably removed the white spaces, like lines in between. So you just go back and update it on those existing ones. So it's still there. It just the text became like it just became one paragraph. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the improvement. So first of all, now you can create templates for tenants, owners, vendors. Okay. Then we have a rich text editor in the template section. We implemented the bulk template download. So this feature is basically so let's say you have, multifamily property and you created a template and that template needs to be downloaded for all the tenants and you want to stick it on their door, right? So you can email them, that's fine, but you need to download the template with the tenant's name, their property address, and you know the whatever the information you want to display on the printed copy. So you'll be able to do that, and that option is there. But this morning I was informed that that template is actually coming up blank. So our technical team is working on it, but it will be there shortly. Save email in the email sent folder. So if you are sending any email for using the bulk email template, then it now saves in the sent item folder in the message center. It wasn't doing it before. And you also have the ability to attach documents. Right? And the email also gets logged in the tenant activity section, right? So the email sent log is in activities section as well as the sent item in the sent item folder, in both places. All right, so let's go to the announcement section. So if you go to the settings, email templates, email templates. So as you can see, email templates got a new look, right? And right away, you know which one is which type. Mostly tenants because we didn't have anything else. And then you have on the right side, you have an action menu and you see these are the template types that you can create. Oh, so I think I missed one. So you can create templates for prospects as well. Now, then you also have three other invitation type. Like, what does it mean? So when you are inviting the tenant or admin or owners, right? Right now, the template that we provide, it's what it is, and you can basically edit this when you are sending a bulk invitation. But when you are sending an individual email to the tenant, it's basically whatever we have said. That's what you can send. But now you can create a tenant invitation template or admin invite template, and when you send an invitation, that template will be used to invite the tenant or owners and vendors. Okay, so there is no multiple invite template for each of these actors here. Like, for tenants, you can only one invite email that you can customize, right? But you can have other templates for tenants and vendors and owners and prospects. So, for example, these are the tenant templates we created, and let's go in to one of those. As you can see, this is the tenant template, and you have this rich text editor, right? And then you can also bullet 1, bullet 2, right? So you can do those customization. The most importantly, you have the placeholder. So the placeholder that you used to choose, like from the bottom, copy and paste, now you don't have to do that. Now we have added lots of placeholder for, in this case, tenants. So when you select creating a tenant template, you will see tenant related placeholders here. So let's say, hey, tenant first name. Let me do this, remove this. Tenant first name, right? So, comma, go down. This is a reminder for your overdue rent. Let me remove this and say overdue total rent deposit collected. Where is that? Where is that? Total rent due, right? So let's say, let's overdue, total rent overdue, insert. Okay. And then we can add more things here, and we can submit, right? So that's it. I'm not adding anymore. And active means, so this will show up in the email, bulk email template option. If it's not active, obviously it will be there, but it will not show up in the drop down. Okay, so let's save it. So we are updating reminder for overdue rent payment. So that's how it's going to work out. So I save that. Now there are this, and similarly, you can create vendor templates. And when you say vendor, so vendor has not many, well, there's quite a few placeholder for vendors. Same thing for owners and I think prospects as well. So for prospects, obviously there is not much you can do, but these are the only few items for vendors. Well, it's not that bad. Yeah, there's quite a few for prospects. So you can create different templates type. Okay, let's see how we can use this template. So if I go to the tenant section, and probably many of you guys are using it. If you go the bulk email, and now you can select this, right, template. If it's active, and it's going to show up in this section. And this is what we have updated. Obviously, this will be changed when the email you do the send email, right? And this will be replaced based on their first name and the information, whatever is the information for that tenant. Okay. And you have the send SMS to tenant option here. So remember, you have the same option in the announcement. Now you have this option in here as well. Okay. Now, and if you recall, one of the points that I mentioned about the bulk template download. So that's here, bulk download. So same concept. Instead of email, now you'll be downloading this template. But when you download, then it will replace these values with their name and whatever the placeholder is, right? Now this bulk download right now it's not working, and that's I got informed today. But they're working on it. It will be fixed soon. Okay, so that's one implementation, one section where the bulk this template will be is been changed. That's one section. The other section is let's go to a tenant profile. So I'm going to use Alex in this case. So if I want to send an email to Alex, if I click on it, now I have this option of selecting the template option. It wasn't there before. And if I select the template, in this case, it will replace the name and the value of the placeholders automatically, right? And you just send it. Pretty straightforward and simple. And you also have the option to customize the text in here. If you save it, it's not going to update the template. It's just gonna be changed for this email. Um, okay, so let's go to another section. Similarly, if I have, I want to send an email to the owner, I can use the templates for owners as well. Let's reset the greet, and let's say John Doe. If I want to send an email to John Doe, and now I will be able to select template for John Doe. So right now I do not have a vendor template. That's why I don't see it. So why don't we just add one quickly here? Just add owner. Hello placeholder. In this case, owner first name, insert comma, and placeholder. Like I just want to add something here. Owner payout due. I don't know, maybe it's not gonna work, but let's use a phone number if they have it, or email address, just for fun. Okay, it's active, save it. And now if I go to the owner section, and not this one, sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to owner's profile again and send email. Now I have the owner template demo, right? And it's been replaced. Same concept, and you send it, and now it's gone. Okay. So same thing for vendors and also for prospects, right? Now the next thing that what will come is that bulk email to vendors and owners. Okay, so our team is working for those two features. Okay. Yeah, so we send email log to the activity summary. That's that's in the tenant detail section. Okay. The announcement section also got a significant improvement. So first of all, it got a new look, right, with the new our usual view that you see in pretty much everywhere. That's one, and you can quickly search and sort and all the other features that you have or you have seen with the other views. The thing that I would like to show is, so here you have option to um, yeah, you can create a future announcement in here, right? So you can choose a future date, posting time, and expiry date, which is not mandatory. Then you can also select vendor here, the templates from here, and send email to the template and SMS them. So the main thing is obviously it got a new look. You can select the template, which wasn't the case before. That's one. The second and important one is you can have you can schedule an announcement now. So that's a big improvement in announcement. Okay. And when you are sending, you see, let's say you're selecting a tenant in here. I select Ralph or Alex, right? If there is any additional tenants, um, they don't have a profile, but they are part of the tenant details section, additional tenants, they will be notified as well automatically. So even though you don't see it, it will automatically send email to the additional tenant email address. Okay, so next one. So we have introduced five LTB forms. I think it's more because last time we discussed at that time, I think we didn't have like no NB or one or two NB and New Brunswick LTB forms. Now we have four. So I think we implemented two LTB forms for New Brunswick. I listed one here, so notice of complaint. For Nova Scotia, we have now two forms, Form D and Form K. For Ontario, we have L9 and L1, L9 been introduced into the forms section. So let me show you that. Okay, so this is in New Brunswick. So in New Brunswick, we have four different LTB forms. Nova Scotia, we have Form K and Form D. In Ontario, we already have many, but then L1, L9, and I think L9 was also been recently added. So yeah, so these are the two new additions for Ontario. And many other minor improvements, it's been implemented, and also we do bug fixes based on the request that you get, support tickets that we get in our help desk. So minor improvements, we have more social icons. We got requests to add, let me show you. So you know that we in our last meeting we said that you can now customize your login page, right? You get an URL, and then you can put your company name, your logo, and then URL. So you introduced like four URLs before, and now we have two more. Instagram and Pinterest came in. So if you provide URLs in this section and you save it and you make this active, then your clients, right? And you can put this URL on your website. When they go, they click on that link, right? They'll see your logo and all of your social links. Okay, so let me give you an example. Okay, so I'm going to sign out, and you see my ID is 1, and this is what I see, MIPP. If you have your logo, it will show up your logo on this side. And this is Acme Property Management. So it's not saying My Property Portal, right? So it's showing the company name. Then at the bottom, these URLs are going to show your URL, whatever you provide in that section, which is in these URLs. Okay. This is a minor thing. We added an overdue amount in the outstanding tenant invoice dues report. Owner's view, we did not have a delete. We had the delete option for owners within those. So previously, if you wanted to delete an owner, you had to go inside the details page, and then you have to delete this. And now you can do it from the view. And if you delete this, so let me delete one. So the view, if you delete, even go to the page number 3 and delete it. Let me do this. So you still stay on page number 3, but the deleted item is gone, right? If you want, you can send an email right from here. Okay, so same thing, you can select the templates and whatnot. Okay, so there are a few new statuses for prospects came in. Tenant send email, include other emails. So again, it's a minor thing, but it's helpful. It wasn't the case before. Sometimes it's what is annoying. So for example, if I go Alex's profile and previously, and if I try to send an email, oh, and let me show you this. So Alex has another tenant that tied with Alex's profile. So previously, when I was sending an email, the email address for the additional tenant wasn't showing up here. So it's kind of a painful. So if you wanna notify both tenants, right? So now you need to copy and paste, and that's kind of a long process. So now the all other tenants' email address will be automatically populated. If you don't want to send them, you just delete those, right? So that's this item. Open room search. I'm not sure if everybody is familiar with open room, and especially in Ontario. This is a website. It's been launched, I think, a couple months ago or last year by an individual, I think a real estate agent. So open room is basically a public site. So here, individual, let's say you, can add a an LTB case file. So if you got a judgment for on an LTB, and then you can add it here to help the community, right? So how does it help? So if there is a tenant who didn't pay rent and you want to the LTB, we want the case, and now you can upload it here so that other people can get benefited and knows about the tenant. So in this case, it's very simple. I'm gonna search with my name, right? So it found few people's name with my first name, right? And you can see, and you can, uh, right? So these are the few people that has an open case, or the cause that has been what do you call publicly available data, right? So you upload it here, and some other people will be benefited with this information, right? So we have created a link in the prospective tenant section. Now you can quickly check. So let's say if you go to the Jenny's profile, Oops. All right. So if I in under action menu, so you have now search open room, and so Jenny Lee, some reason it did not populate the box with Jenny Lee. It's supposed to put Jenny's name here, right? So then you see if you have a Jenny, it finds it. So it's quickly you can see if the prospect is in the it's in the open room database. Okay. Or at least you can open it very quickly. You don't have to go to type it in. But we'll see why it's not populated. Okay, so that's this item, open room search. NR4 expense mapping fixed. There was an issue we found with NR4. So if you see NR4 report is for non-residence owner. We introduced it a couple months ago. So let me show you this. So on NR4 statements, actually it's a report, not a statement. And if I select one property or one owner, and this is for non-residence owner, right? There was a mapping issue with with one of this box. So now that that's been fixed, so you have to configure. You could if you want to do the mapping, then you have to do the mapping here. So there was a mapping issue. Now it's been fixed. Option to go directly to other property unit. So this is in the unit type. So if I go to units, manage units. So previously it was kind of a painful, and I experienced it by myself many times. Is basically we did not have this option. Okay, so property selection or jumping to a different property. So I go to the property and I go to the manage units. And then if I want to go to the units for another property, now I have to go to the properties and then go manage units, and then I will see this, like there are few steps, right, I had to do. Now I can just quickly switch to a different property, and then the units for that property shows up. Okay, so we have this feature in few sections, properties, and um, I think the tenant section as well. We have that. So now we have implemented here, and few other sections will implement this in few other section as well. Okay. The other important thing, let me see if I have anything else in here. Nope. So other things it's not in the list is that if you now we have implemented a another view for properties. So you have, this is the default view, and it has images and some kind of a graphical representation here, right? But and then you can also search quickly, right? Now this is good if you have, properties under 200 or 300. It's not that bad. It works fine. But if you have larger properties, like maybe a few hundred, few thousand, like close to thousands and more, then it gives you it's kind of slow, right? So to eliminate that, we implemented this view all properties. This one loads up pretty quickly, and then again the functionalities that you see, it's now in, like, it shows up like this. Then here you can again search. This is a regular view, as you see. You can filter, you can search by property. This quickly searches that, and in a one single page you'd be able to see 500 properties at a time, right? So this makes the load time faster, and obviously, like it's you don't have to wait much. And I don't know if you have noticed, now the properties, if you want to go to the other view, so let me click on this. you see the property opens up in a new page. So let's say if you need to update a property, you are not checking some property, it's not loading on the same view, right? So once you are done with this property, you just cancel it and you are back to the grid view. It also saves time, right? Because you're not, if it's, the windows are not refreshing. So just keep that in mind. It happens for properties, also for tenants, and also from the tenants. If you click on the invoice, you'll see that new windows are keep popping up. So idea is it's not refreshing the same window like this, right? So you're saving few seconds, and once you're done with this window, you can just simply close it. And if you open in a new window, actually, it's helpful many times. Is that like, if you wanna keep this one open, right? And you can just keep this open. I hope it makes sense, right? And I also got to know, like few before we started the meeting, we do have our load time for the tenant section again was causing some issues. And the development team just informed me that they found an issue that significantly reduced the call for the tenants. So probably by next 1 or 2 days, you'll see a faster load time for this tenant view. Okay. So, and oh, another thing is if you see you have a tenant pay button that again, this has nothing to do with any of you at this moment, but we have clients coming up from different softwares, and tenant pay is one of the vendors who provide online rent payment service. And the clients who are coming from tenant pay. So now we do have a kind of an integration. So where if they want to still use their tenant pay online payment, but they would like to log those payment for the tenants in our system is very easy. All they have to do is download the file from the tenant pay website and upload it here and upload again and then done. So it will close all of their invoices in our system for all the tenants. Okay, so again, because we are moving towards the API model, and there'll be more and more of more integrations like this will show up, right? So now I'm going to give you a hints on what's coming and what we are working on. More LTB forms for Ontario, for Newfoundland, and one or two other provinces. So we have LTB forms for pretty much seven provinces now, and three are missing, right? One being the Newfoundland. So, and then other one is in Winnipeg, right? And then another one is Alberta. Alberta, the issue is Alberta doesn't have any standard like LTB notice forms or leases, right? So that's kind of hard. But for Winnipeg and the Newfoundland, will have more LTB forms will show up. Okay, and bulk email, I mentioned that earlier. We'll have vendor bulk option and or bulk owner email option will show up. Then more APIs will come, right? And our team is behind the scene working on a few different things. One major one is the bank synchronization, right? So you'll be able to connect to the bank and bring the data, right? So that's a big time saving features for everybody if you want to use it, right? And then down the line, our goal is to integrate with QuickBooks and a few other accounting software, or at least give them the opportunity to bring the data or get the data from our system to those accounting systems. Okay. Well, so that slide hasn't been changed. I think that's a mistake. Um, so yeah, so ignore the top portion, but the second, the red text, as it says, if you have any questions, please send an email to submit a ticket, right? So that we have it logged and you can monitor it, what's going on with the ticket, and so that you get a response from the support team, right? Quickly, or at least there are a few people are in the support team. They'll serve you properly. If it comes, sometimes the email comes to me directly, I get a call directly, and that gets, you don't get the support that you need on time, right? And as usual, and our humble request is that spread the word. If we are doing a good job, please refer to your friends and colleagues. And obviously, you see, we do have a referral program. It's at the bottom left side of the dashboard. Okay. So at this moment, you'll stop. It's 2:48. We have a few minutes left. So let's see if there is any questions from anyone. I see Jeff. Good day, good afternoon. Thank you for the upgrades. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Is it possible to use a bulk email for enforce? Yeah, I think we do have that. Bulk N4 was implemented a long time ago. So here, bulk N4, I think that's what you're looking for. Yeah, bulk N4. Bulk N4. So you go to tenant section, bulk action, bulk N4, and then here's a window, and you choose the tenant termination date, and you can email the template or you can download this template. So both options are available. Okay, thank you. And then can we get the recording of the session? Yeah, for sure. And Abdul Jawan, we need more LTP forms for BC, please. Yes, that's it's in our list. More BC form will come. Is it possible to implement the email scheduling from the tenant area instead of going to the announcements area? This will be an amazing update. Thanks for it. Okay. So we'll take a note. Naushad or Ayushi, please take a note on this. Yes, sure. It's not an option. It automatically does it, Tate. So when you're sending an announcement, if there is an additional tenant for in the for that in the tenant profile, it will automatically be added. I mean, that additional tenant will receive a notification when you send an announcement. So to answer your question, yes, it does. How do I get the recording of today? Yeah, so we'll send you the recording, Ayushi. Please take a note on that. So I know at some point in time, Jeff, Tate, you guys are looking for APIs for on work order service request, I think. So if you still need that, please let us know. Just send us your requirement and we'll give you the template. Okay. Is there anything else? Any other questions? Yeah. So I think I don't see any other questions. Maria is typing. Okay. So no questions, Maria. Um, okay. So you'll see a lot of good progress in the next upcoming webinar as well. Just stay tuned and give us feedback. Obviously, improvement never ends. Please, if you have any suggestions on the things that we have implemented, let us know, and we will try to accommodate as much as possible. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.